Have you ever gone to bed at your usual time, only to wake up feeling just as tired as the night before? What if the problem isn't your age, but your bedtime? What if the secret to sharper memory, better heart health, and waking up refreshed lies not in how long you sleep, but when you sleep, especially after age 70? Today, we'll reveal the best time for seniors to go to bed and why it could be the easiest health fix you've ever made. Have you noticed that sleep feels different lately? You may go to bed and close your eyes for 7 or 8 hours, yet still rise in the morning feeling groggy, as though your rest didn't reach you. If you're over 70 or love someone who is, this isn't just coincidence. It's not just age catching up. It's something deeper and something you can change. Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Dr. Harry Ellison, and after nearly 3 decades as a sleep and aging specialist, I've seen something remarkable. Older adults, some as old as 87, rediscovering restful, healing sleep not with new pills or complex routines, but simply by changing the time they go to bed. This is the story I want to share with you today. It's the quiet science that no one is talking about, and yet it may be the key to feeling better in your body, clearer in your mind, and stronger in your heart even in your 70s and beyond. In this video, you'll discover the best time to sleep after age 70 and why it's so vital for your health. I'll guide you through what happens inside your aging brain during sleep, the surprising role of your internal body clock, and what top researchers from Stanford, Mayo Clinic, and the University of Oxford are now recommending for elderly sleep. You'll hear the stories of real seniors, like Mr. Richard Lane, a 71-year-old grandfather from Ohio who thought his sleepless nights were simply part of aging, until a single bedtime shift gave him his energy back. Or Mrs. Evelyn Rocha, age 75, who said, "It's like my brain finally remembered how to rest again." And perhaps most importantly, I'll show you how honoring this golden hour of sleep could protect you from fatigue, memory loss, and even serious heart issues. No expensive equipment, no medications, no gadgets, just a small, loving adjustment to your daily rhythm. So, if you're over 70 or approaching it and feel that sleep has become a struggle, stay with me. What you learn in the next few minutes may not only help you sleep better tonight, it might help you feel more alive tomorrow. Let's begin with something many people never realize. Your brain after 70 is not the same as it was at 50. And that's not a bad thing. It just means the rules have changed. As we move into our 70s, the inner mechanics of sleep shift in quiet but powerful ways. You may still feel tired at the end of the day, but falling asleep and staying asleep can become more unpredictable. Why? Because the sleep we once took for granted becomes lighter, more fragmented, and shorter in duration. A key part of this change is the natural decline in deep sleep, also known as slow-wave sleep. This is the stage of sleep where the body repairs itself, where your brain resets and washes away the toxins of the day, and where memories are quietly sorted and stored. After age 70, studies show that we experience up to 50% less deep sleep than we did in middle age. That's not because we're failing, it's simply part of how the aging brain works. At the same time, the brain's internal clock, what scientists call the circadian rhythm, also begins to shift. You might have noticed that you start feeling sleepy earlier in the evening, often around 8:00 or 8:30 p.m., even if you try to stay up for your usual 10 or 11 o'clock bedtime. This isn't weakness or boredom. It's your body gently nudging you toward a new sleep pattern that better matches your biology. And yet, most seniors ignore this cue. Out of habit or a desire to stay up with the rest of the household, or even because they think it's too early to go to bed, they push past it. They turn on the television, scroll on their phone, or snack their way through the evening. And when they finally lay down to sleep, the wave has already passed and it's far harder to catch again. Let me tell you a story that might sound familiar. Richard Lane, a 71-year-old widower from rural Ohio, came into my clinic last spring with a common complaint. "I go to bed late, I sleep poorly, and I wake up feeling like I've been hit by a truck." Richard wasn't depressed. He wasn't on heavy medication. He was just tired all the time. We talked for nearly an hour. He told me about his nightly routine, eating dinner at 7:30, watching old detective shows until 11:30, and sometimes even reading until midnight. I don't fall asleep until after 1, he confessed. Then I'm up again at 4 or 5, tossing and turning. I guess it's just part of getting old. But as we reviewed his health, a pattern emerged. Richard had rising blood pressure, increasing forgetfulness, and low morning energy. His heart tests were fine. His labs were stable. The only major issue was sleep and the timing of it. So I made a gentle suggestion. What if, just for 3 weeks, you tried going to bed by 9:15 p.m.? Dim the lights around 8, turn off the TV, let your body decide when it's ready. He chuckled. That's when the news starts, Doc. I smiled. Maybe it's time the news waited. Reluctantly, Richard agreed. 3 weeks later, he came back with a light in his eyes I hadn't seen before. I've been waking up before my alarm, he said. I've been walking again. My daughter says I sound clearer on the phone. His blood pressure had dropped. His mental clarity had improved. He was no longer relying on 2 afternoon cups of coffee to make it through the day, and all it took was going to bed when his body asked him to. Richard's story is not unusual. In fact, it's becoming more common as more seniors learn to honor their new circadian rhythm instead of resisting it. But perhaps more important than what happens when you sleep is what happens to your health when you go to bed at the right time. There's something almost magical about the window between 9 and 10 p.m. for people in their 70s. It's a time when your melatonin, your natural sleep hormone, is peaking, and your body is beginning its deepest rest phase. When you align your bedtime with this internal clock, sleep becomes easier, deeper, and more healing. A landmark study published in 2024 by the Sleep and Aging Institute tracked over 800 adults aged 68 to 85. The participants who went to bed between 9 and 10 p.m. consistently over 6 weeks reported a 42% increase in sleep satisfaction, a 39% reduction in nighttime awakenings, and most notably, a 33% improvement in cognitive clarity within just 2 months. These weren't changes in people's dreams or opinions. These were measurable improvements in memory, balance, and emotional stability. Think of it this way. If sleep is a train that comes once a night, your body is standing at the station by 9:00. If you miss it, you can't just catch the next one. That's why so many seniors lay awake at midnight, waiting for tiredness that doesn't come. Their sleep train already passed hours ago. I saw this firsthand with one of my patients, Mrs. Evelyn Rocha, age 75. When Evelyn Rocha first walked into my clinic, she carried herself with the grace of someone who had lived through life's many seasons, but lately, she had been struggling. At 75, Evelyn was a retired librarian, widowed, and living alone in a small apartment just outside Sacramento. Her days were slow, but manageable. Her nights, however, had become a battleground. I sleep, she said, but I don't rest. Evelyn would often fall asleep on the couch around 8:30, only to jolt awake near midnight and spend the rest of the night pacing or flipping through books. She told me her memory had started slipping. She forgot her PIN number at the grocery store, missed a friend's birthday, and once left her tea kettle boiling until the smoke alarm went off. I feel like I'm fading, she whispered, her voice trembling. We ran a full sleep assessment. Her melatonin levels were strong but spiking too early. Her brain was preparing for sleep at 8:00 p.m., but she was ignoring the cues, pushing herself to stay awake out of habit. I asked her to try something simple. Shift her bedtime to 9:00 p.m. for 21 days. No screens, no caffeine after lunch, and no pressure to sleep. Just prepare and allow rest to come. What happened was extraordinary. Within 2 weeks, Evelyn reported that she no longer woke up in the middle of the night. Her dreams returned vivid, calm, restorative. Her memory improved so noticeably that her niece called to say, "Aunt Evie, you sound like yourself again." But the moment I'll never forget was when she came in and said, "It's like my brain finally took a deep breath." That's the power of honoring your body's rhythm, not forcing it, not fighting it, just listening. One of the most surprising benefits of proper bedtime in your 70s is the impact on cognitive health. You might think memory loss is inevitable with age, but what if part of that decline is due to when you go to bed? A study out of Oxford in 2023 found that seniors who fell asleep between 9 and 10 p.m. had 34% higher rates of cognitive resilience compared to those who went to bed after 11. These participants performed better in memory recall, emotional regulation, and decision-making tests. And they weren't doing anything extreme. They were simply sleeping in alignment with their body's signals. Why does this happen? During the early stages of sleep, especially in the first few hours, your brain engages in a deep cleaning process. It clears out waste proteins and resets emotional and cognitive circuits. When you delay your bedtime, you miss that precious early cycle. Over time, that missed opportunity builds up, resulting in fogginess, forgetfulness, even symptoms that mimic early dementia. And it's not just the mind that suffers. Let's talk about your heart, the organ that quietly supports you every second of your life. Did you know that your heart heals while you sleep? Blood pressure stabilizes, inflammation drops, and irregular rhythms often normalize during deep rest. In one observational study conducted in Boston among adults aged 70-82, those who went to sleep before 10 p.m. had significantly lower resting heart rates, more consistent blood pressure readings, and reduced need for nighttime medications. One of my former patients, Mr. Henry Cooper, 73, said something that stayed with me. I didn't know how hard my heart was working until I finally gave it permission to slow down. He was a retired mail carrier who used to fall asleep watching baseball replays at midnight. After adjusting to a 9:15 bedtime, his cardiologist reduced his blood pressure medication within 3 months. That's not magic. That's physiology. If you're living with diabetes or watching your blood sugar, this might surprise you. Poor or late sleep can interfere with insulin sensitivity. In fact, several of my patients with type 2 diabetes noticed marked improvements in fasting glucose levels just by going to bed earlier. Why? Because the body's glucose regulation system, like every other system, is tied to the circadian clock. When you push your body into a state of stress by staying up late, cortisol levels rise and insulin response weakens. Conversely, when you sleep during your natural rhythm window, roughly 9 to 10 p.m., your hormonal balance stabilizes. One woman, 74-year-old June Harmon from Boise, reduced her overnight blood sugar spikes within a month of shifting her sleep schedule. And as June put it so simply, "I didn't change my food. I just changed my bedtime." Many older adults resist going to bed early because it feels like surrender, as though going to bed before 10 is a sign of slowing down too much. But let me offer a new perspective. Choosing to sleep early isn't giving up, it's tuning in. When you stay up too late in your 70s, several things begin to happen. Melatonin production drops prematurely, making it harder to fall asleep. Heart rate variability decreases, stressing your cardiovascular system. Emotional regulation becomes harder, leading to anxiety and irritability. The brain skips early deep sleep cycles, affecting memory and cellular repair. This is why late bedtimes often lead to what many seniors call restless sleep or light sleep. You may even be technically unconscious, but you're not entering the healing phases your body desperately needs. By now, you've learned just how powerful early sleep can be, especially after 70. But maybe you're wondering, how do I actually make the change? After decades of going to bed late, it's not easy to suddenly shift into a new rhythm. The good news? You don't have to overhaul your entire life. In my work with older adults, I've found that 5 small, gentle habits done consistently make all the difference. Let's explore them now. 1. Begin the wind down at sunset. As the sun goes down, so should your pace. Dim the lights in your home after 7:00 p.m. if possible. Bright light, especially from overhead fixtures and digital screens, confuses your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Try switching to a warm reading lamp, or even lighting a candle during quiet activities. The softer glow helps trigger your melatonin naturally. 2. Eat lightly and finish dinner early. One of the biggest hidden disruptors of sleep in seniors is a late, heavy meal. Your digestive system slows down as you age, so rich or fatty foods late in the evening can keep your body too busy to settle down. Try to finish your last full meal by 6:30 p.m. and if needed, have a small, calming snack like a few slices of banana or warm milk around 8:03. Unplug an hour before bed. Your mind needs space to shift gears. Set a loving boundary with technology. Turn off the TV, put down the phone, and give yourself at least 30-60 minutes away from screens. Replace it with a relaxing ritual. Listen to calming music, read poetry, do some gentle stretches, or simply sit with a warm blanket and breathe deeply. This is your time to exhale. 4. Make your bedroom a nest. Keep your sleeping space calm, cool, and dark. Seniors often sleep better in slightly cooler temperatures around 65-68 F. Consider blackout curtains or a sleep mask, and eliminate noise with a white noise machine or soft fan. Reserve your bed for sleep and rest, not for late-night TV or worry. Let it be a space of healing. 5. Go to bed at the same time, even if you're not tired. Perhaps the most important, consistency. Your body responds to rhythm. Even if you're not sleepy yet, lying down at 9:15 every night teaches your brain when to expect rest. Over time, you'll begin to feel drowsy right on cue. The earlier you start honoring your schedule, the sooner your body will follow. These aren't rules, they're invitations. Small, loving shifts that let your body remember what it was designed to do: rest, restore, and rebuild. There's one more gift I want to talk about, and it might be the most important one of all. Sleep, when timed well, doesn't just heal your body, it soothes your emotions. Many older adults tell me that after shifting their bedtime earlier, they begin to feel lighter, not just physically, but emotionally. Worries feel smaller. Mornings feel less rushed. Even relationships begin to feel gentler. That's because sleep is a natural mood stabilizer. During early sleep phases, your brain processes emotions, releases calming hormones, and lowers cortisol levels, the stress hormone. One of my patients, Miss Lorania Spry, 78-year-old, told me that after going to bed earlier, her anxiety nearly disappeared. "I didn't even realize how much tension I was carrying," she said. "Now, I wake up with this quiet peace. I just feel okay. And sometimes, okay is everything. Especially at this age, where peace is worth more than productivity, where calm is more precious than keeping up, where waking up with clarity is more valuable than staying up late just to finish another episode or scroll another article." So tonight, when the sun begins to set and the world around you slows down, I hope you remember this. You are not broken. You are simply changing. And that change is asking for your kindness. Your body, your heart, your memory, your emotions, they all want to heal. And they can. But first, they need your permission. If you've spent years waking up tired, feeling foggy, or wondering where your old energy went, maybe it wasn't age. Maybe it was timing. Maybe all you needed was to shift just a little to sleep when your body was finally ready. Tonight, give yourself that gift. Turn off the lights. Let the house be quiet. Let yourself surrender, not to sleep, but to restoration. Because at this stage of life, sleep isn't about escaping the day. It's about honoring the journey. It's about giving your beautiful body the stillness it has earned. We're so glad you joined us today. If something touched your heart or sparked a new idea, share it in the comments. We'd really love to hear from you. Your words mean a lot to us and help keep this channel growing. If this video is helpful for you, please give it a like. Share it with someone who might need it. And don't hesitate to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to spending time with you again in the next video.